just raise your heels for me. That's it. Lovely. Okay, so lovely Nadine, going to give you a nice reflexology treatment and followed by a nice facial. So, going to put a nice warm fluffy towel on you. Would you like it about here? It's been on the radiator. So I'm just going to be talking while I'm doing the reflexology. You don't have to feel like you need to respond. So I've got some lovely Melissa freshener, just soothing the feet, cleaning them off, refreshing round the ankle, up the sole and underneath, over the ball of the feet. Beautiful Melissa, so good for refreshing and cooling after a long day. So would you like a little eye mask on?
Oh yes, please.
Okay, so we've got the Morning Mist toner, just coming onto your eyes. And then the lovely eye pillow, which has got lavender, mint and peppermint in.
Oh, I can smell the peppermint.
Can you? Nice. There you go. Just making sure that the eye sockets are massaged with the weight of the cushion. Okay, so first of all, I'm just going to have a good check of the feet before I then massage and give a lovely reflexology treatment called Swiss Reflex. So just introducing my hands and having a little feel around the ankle, the Achilles, over the top of the foot, the metatarsals, around the sides. Nadine was telling me when she arrived that unfortunately she fell off her horse yesterday. So I'm expecting a little bit of stiffness in maybe the spine, the pelvis, maybe even the neck. We'll see what comes up. They feel good to me. There's nice softness there. They don't feel cramped or strained. Oh, a little click, little stiffness there on the left ankle. Nadine, have you still got that issue with your left foot?
No, it seems to have gone.
That's good. Feeling over the metatarsals. A little bit of tightness there, but that'll go. Around the ankle bone. Yeah, there's a little bit of clicking going on there. We'll get rid of that. And then up the feet. No, that's great. Okay, so I'm going to start off by using a symmetrical action simultaneously over both feet, feeling into the solar plexus is where we start. Initially on the nervous system. That doesn't feel too bad, that's good. And now on the pituitary. A little tight on one side, on the left, and then up the thyroid. Using a caterpillar action just to check at the moment, not particularly treating yet. Up the thyroid, up to the parathyroid. And then I'm going to check the sciatic nerve that starts in the spine, the lower back, coming down through the pelvis, through the buttocks, and then down both legs. I'm pressing quite firmly with the pads of my fingers, and my nails are very short, so there shouldn't be any feeling of nail contact to the skin. And now I'm going to check the structural system, so one foot at a time. Oh, it's quite tight there at the neck. Yeah, okay. Shoulder feels good, coming down the spine, all the way to the lower back. Yeah, lower back's a little bit tight as well. Going to update my notes. Then into the shoulder and the shoulder point. So this is the top corner, if you like, of the shoulder, and the scapula, which is our angel wing. Then coming down to the joints on the side of the foot, we've got elbow here, hip, yeah, that's clicking. That was probably a little bit sore if I was to give that a bit more attention. And then coming down to the knee, the right knee just below. And then the other side, so just bending the foot to the side to be able to see and feel clearly down that beautiful channel of the meridian. So we've got lower back definitely on that side. Oh yeah, a little bit of stiffness at the waist, which is lumbar area, and then up to the neck. Interestingly, not so bad on the left side, it's mainly the right of the neck, so making a note to definitely work on the spine. Now up the scapula. I'm not feeling too bad considering. And then up the shoulder point, down to the elbow, just there. Left elbow. And the hip. Yeah. And the knee, that's clicking a bit. So hip and knee definitely give some attention, some care. So having done the structural system, I'm going to move on to respiratory. So I'm going to start off with coming up the lungs symmetrically using thumbs in a caterpillar action. There's a little bit of clicking here, that feels a bit tight on the very outside of the left lung. Okay, sometimes if we're fending off a bug, or if we've had a bout of shallow breathing, any infection, then that will affect it. And then I'm going to check the sinuses by holding the toe behind and then just pressing gently into the top of the big toe, not above it, but just into that top of the surface. Same for the others. Yeah, just that one feels a bit more tender. Just the second one, but the others are okay. Now coming over to the eyes. So by supporting the foot with one finger behind and underneath, I'm just pressing with the thumb pad in between toe 2 and 3 on both feet. Just applying a little bit more pressure with every movement. And the same for the ears, which are between toe 4 and 5, along that ledge, that windowsill that we have just there. Okay, great. They feel okay. Then we're going to go down to the lymph system. So just hooking over the foot so I can see over the top here. So this is the cervical lymph that's in the chest. Doing the same with the other foot. Just checking down there. A little bit tight across the top of the left. Yeah, it feels a little bit swollen there compared to the right, just into there. So I definitely look at that in case the respiratory and lymph system is fighting something off at the moment. And then into the inguinal, so that's actually around the front of the ankle bone as I hook underneath with 2 fingers and then over the top. Yeah, again, a little bit fluid filled over that top of both of those. So I'm just going to make a note in order to treat those, not a problem. Now into the digestive system. So I'm going to look at the liver first of all. A large organ which takes up a lot of space in the higher right abdominal cavity in a triangular shape. So I'm going wider across at the top and more shallowly underneath. Feels good. Then I'm going to check the stomach and the pancreas. And then down to the small intestine on the right hand side. A little bit tense just in the middle there. Now checking the other side. The good thing about these particular feet is that Nadine has been for quite a few treatments now, so it's so nice. Nadine completely relaxes when she comes for a treatment and gives her body, her feet directly to me, so I don't have to encourage to relax. They're so relaxed already. And then checking the ileocecal valve, which is this area here at the bottom of the small intestine as it ends and before it starts up the colon. So up and across. And then continuing that passage of the colon across the transcending and down the descending colon. A lot feels good today. That's great. And now going to look at the excretory system. So starting at the adrenal, which is just here above the kidney, a very small gland, a little bit tense, coming down to the kidney, down the ureter and across to the bladder. Yeah, it's clicking a little bit. I think it's just that adrenal, or is it the kidney? One affects the other. And then the same on this side. Adrenal to kidney, ureter to the bladder. One long passage. Yeah, again, it's just tiny bit clicking. And now the reproductive system, so just checking out the ovaries, which is halfway between the heel point and the ankle bone, about there, roughly. Obviously it may be a bit different in all of us, depending on what's happening in the actual body, whether we've had any operations in that area or any atrophy, etc. And then coming up and over the fallopian tube, the left and right sides, and all the way across to the middle to the uterus in the centre. Feels a bit tight at the uterus. Okay, so I'm going to make up some oil.
Did you say I've got angel wings in that one foot?
Yeah.
They didn't come out yesterday, did they? Work on them for me.
We've got angel wings, all of us. It's our scapula, our shoulder blades.
I like that. I never thought of that.
So, are you going home to bed, or have you got things to do after this?
I'm going home to bed.
Lovely. So I'm putting together sweet marjoram, lavender and Roman chamomile, which will help you sleep, and it's so good for relieving any inflammation in case you've got any from yesterday. Yeah, it's also analgesic in case you've got any pain. Because you know, sometimes these falls can take a couple of days to come out, can't they? Like bruises. Your skin looks quite dry here.
Terribly dry skin.
Have you? What, all over?
Yeah.
Have you got any of the tropic things?
It's my own fault. I just don't have the time.
Yeah. Like, I think they do whipped body velvet, which is the cream tub. And then they've also got Body Love, which is the lotion. Have you got one of those?
Got that Body Love I mix with the oil. I just haven't had time to
Yeah.
this week to look after myself.
Yeah, it does feel a bit, especially on the front there. Yeah, not so much the sides. And your heel, yeah, put it on all over if you can.
I'll try and do that tonight before bed.
Another easier way is to use the oil in the bath oil.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll moisturise. Or, but this does take time, use the body scrub, you know, the body smooth, in the shower, and that oils you at the same time as exfoliates.
Okay.
Yeah, but again, you know, it does take a couple of minutes.
No, I could do that.
Right, that oil smells amazing. I'm going to put a little
Please.
here. Hopefully you can smell that without giving you an oily lip. That all right?
Yeah, it does smell lovely.
So that's lavender, Roman chamomile, and sweet marjoram. Got plenty of oil here. There you go. At least your feet and ankles will be moisturised. Are you comfy?
Yeah, lovely.
You're not sore?
No,
Okay.
can't feel a thing.
Wonderful. I think that's good. Okay, so starting off the actual reflexology part of the treatment, and I like to do it symmetrically as much as possible. So just coming down the spine. And massaging the feet over and under, strongly up and softly down. And then knuckles under one foot, helping the oil to work its way through the outer layers of the skin down into the circulation. And that's why Swiss Reflex is so great, because we're using essential oils, the aromatherapy technique, not just reflexology, meridian activating. And knuckling around the ankle, pushing up around the Achilles. And the sides of the foot's quite nice, over the joints. And then even knuckling over the top. It's quite nice having the toes knuckled. It's quite an unusual feeling, but most people like that. And then underneath, nice and slowly, so as not to catch a toe in the wrong direction. Lovely, getting some warmth there. Over that windowsill, and then down the soft centre part of the foot, pushing those tendons, which tends to curl the toes. And onto the other side. Again, knuckling over the ankle. The top of the foot. Over the sides. And then knuckling over the back of the heel. The soft tissue up over the ball of the foot. those individual toes. And then over the top. Lovely. Doing a little ankle mobilizing, rotating in one direction and the other. A lovely little click. I can remember this foot used to click last time I gave reflexology that was on my channel. So I'm just supporting it at the place it's clicking. See if we can get rid of that. Okay, so looking at my notes, I'm going to start off with a lovely solar plexus, symmetrical, clockwise, circular movement, hooking under the solar plexus. Round and round, seeing what I can feel, mainly using the pad of my thumb rather than the top, and therefore it's softer to receive. And solar plexus, you'll have seen me talk about it with being a chakra, but it's also very much a physical part of us. It's a network of nerves, like a spaghetti junction, just under the diaphragm. And whenever I think about the solar plexus, I always feel and envisage a beautiful yellowy golden light that envelops me, because the solar plexus relates to that physical part of us, just under the diaphragm in the upper abdomen, but also it relates to self-contentment, to happiness, to feeling at peace with oneself, feeling at home in your own body, but also that lovely feeling of self-esteem, feeling that we are respected and valued and we have respect for ourselves, self-esteem. And that's what this place is so important to nourish and massage. A golden light, letting that envelop you. And now coming on to the spine and neck. So again, symmetrical approach, just coming down either side, inside those lengths of the inside of the feet, right up to the neck, and now caterpillar action, so that I can feel what's going on inside, but also it's like a bit of a petrissage massage action all the way down the inside of those feet to the lower back as it rounds and then back up again. Yeah, so one foot feels different to the other. I can sense that the lower back on the left side is quite tight. I'm definitely going to be treating the neck on both sides, the back and both sides of the neck. So coming up. So I'm trying to instill some warmth, get the blood circulation down here, but also clear the channel of the cerebral spinal fluid. So it's got a clear pathway all the way down and back up again. And this is really good because it, even on the body itself, it feels like the back is having a nice long stretch. As I pull the feet away from each other, it stretches the spine out and down. I'm going to give this several nice long stretch and massages. And then using fingers instead, just massaging into the lower back. The inside of the length of the heel there can feel a little bit tight because it's almost directly onto bone there. There is a little bit of soft tissue and fascia, but actually quite hard bone on the inside of that heel. So I'm just encouraging a bit of softness here alongside that warmth and the stimulation of the circulation. That feels better already. Same on the other side. Lovely. Okay. So now coming up to the respiratory system, where I felt a little bit of tightness around the outside of the lung. It was just on this lateral left side, so I'm just feeling for it at first. I don't want to inflict any pain, it's just to encourage some softness. The lung is actually a very large organ. It takes up a lot of space in the body, but also on the foot. So I'm covering a large area within the foot pad. And you can see it's got a nice rosy colour already. That's a good sign. Lovely, the blood is circulating well. That will bring the chi, the energy, to help in a remedial action over the whole foot. And now still on the respiratory system, going to come up to the sinuses. The second toe in the pad I felt earlier in the assessment that felt a little bit constrained. So holding my hands and fingers around the rest of the toes to keep them warm, and a feeling of safety and protection. I'm now feeling into those two sinuses, seeing what they're telling me, having a sense of whether there's any tightness there or inflammation, any pain or congestion. And they just feel tight, especially now the right one. I think the left one is getting better and better. It's taking a little while, but it is getting better. The left one is very soft now, that's good. Might as well work on the other toes. So I'm just doing a little hooking action, where I'm hooking underneath, seeing if it will respond better to a slightly different technique. Just going to give it a little qigong. Feeling the energy enter the toe, the sinus. Feeling any tightness and congestion dissipating. Allowing for clearing, smoothing, and harmonizing those energies. Wonderful. It's almost like there is a breath that comes through this area. Nice and soft. Like a smile across the sinuses. A beautiful glow. Now into the joints. Elbow on the left side and the hip on the right. Just feeling into that right hip, left elbow feels better. And now working on both hips, left and right, in a circular fashion, just feeling into that. The outside of the iliacs. It's starting off with a few clicks just around the outer and rear side of the right hip at the moment. Wonderful, nice and smooth. And now coming round that inguinal lymph, which is all around the bottom side and top of the ankle bone on the outsides. So starting here and caterpillar at the moment, just having a feel, because they do feel a little bit puffy. So I want to make sure that they have full ability to be able to fight off whatever it is they are battling at the moment. It feels good down here. And then I want to make sure that the lymph is working in the correct direction. Of course, lymph physically in our body works very slowly. It has no heartbeat to push it back up the body, so it has to deal with gravity. And it's very superficial, so the lymph is just underneath the layers of the skin. And it responds to quite a soft, slow action. It also likes a arrow technique where we push in very tiny arrows forward and then coming back softly. Yeah, that's working. Feels much better. Now I want to work on the other lymph system, cervical lymph, which is in the very top of the foot here. If I gently bend those toes down, just across the top there. So again, using a gentle caterpillar action forwards. It's nice and soft. The skin is generally really smooth in this area. And then a stroking action, always upwards and forwards. And now coming over to the uterus. So crossing my hands to be able to achieve a flat thumb pad to the inside of the ankle there, just on the near the heel. So massaging again, circular at first. If you like, it's the equivalent of a lovely effleurage, just introducing my thumbs and warming the area. Treating the whole area, and then bending the thumb slightly more to give slightly more pressure to that uterine point. And then working on the adrenal, kidney, down the ureter to the bladder, which is how we end the reflex treatment, the actual bespoke treatment part of Swiss reflex. So I'm working on the adrenal here. Do you know that feels better already because of working on the rest of the body? And then the kidney, the ureter to the bladder. And we save that till last because of all the lymph that has been encouraged to move with the Swiss reflex treatment. So encouraging it in the correct direction down to the bladder so that it can be expelled, clearing the way so that the body has a healthy lymph and immune system. That feels really good. And then over to the other side. From the adrenal, kidney, ureter to the bladder in a curved position. There is a channel there that I'm following, Massaging the adrenal, the kidney. Oh, that feels better. It's warm now. Good. Kidneys love being warm. Lovely. Finishing off with a massage before I do the Brazilian toe technique. Finishing the actual Swiss reflex with a little nod to the solar plexus. And now coming to the middle toe, just gently touching top and bottom with index finger and thumb, tuning into the energy. Brazilian toe technique really helps to balance our energies, starting off by eliminating, shedding anything we don't need, any old habits, self-talk, mannerisms that do not serve us. Having a little spring clean. Coming out one toe to the fourth toe and starting to absorb energy. Having cleared the way, we now have more space for some beautiful harmonious and balancing energy. Coming to the little toe, never to be ignored or forgotten. You know, we need every toe, we need to treat every toe, because those of us who have lost a toe, a finger, a limb, know that it is definitely